At the beginning of November, we can truly see a change in the garden. Leaves are starting to drop or turn or change color. We have everything that went to seed, and predominantly we have those browns that are replacing all our beautiful blooms. For me in Britany, it's also been an extremely rainy end of month, so I wanted to take you with me on a relaxing gardening day. Hopefully not too rainy, and we'll see what we can tackle. It has been raining for 2 weeks non-stop, so this is the first day where I can be outside and try to tackle some gardening. And actually I keep dashing in and out between showers, so we'll see what we can get done today. I have a couple of things on my to-do list. I want to develop a new area around the column and mix some grasses and some alliums. I also need to plant my cabbage starts and a bunch of seedlings. Also, because all the plants have been, a bit battered with all this rain, we need to do a bit of tidy up, a bit of cleanup. We have leaves everywhere, and generally I have to keep up with housekeeping. So I wanted to take you with me on a relaxing gardening day. Hopefully not too rainy, and we'll see what we can tackle. This is the column around which I want to develop a new area. I was thinking it would be really pretty to draw a circle around it and just to bring in a bit more interest around it so that it would soften the stone texture. And I also feel like it would make it feel like this structure has always been there and is really as a purpose. And I've been very inspired by looking at pictures with a mix of grasses and allium atropurpureum. And I think the simplicity of only having grasses and then that little pop of color will keep the area peaceful and tidy and beautiful year-round. We also need to change the centerpiece here. I had a platycodon producing beautiful blooms, but I think it's suffering from too much moisture, so we need to move it, dry it, and maybe we'll pop something decorative in there. Okay, the first step is going to be to dig our little flower bed. So I'm hoping, because it rained forever, that this time we're gonna manage. So my plan is to reuse some of the Stipa tenuissima that we have dotted around in containers in the garden, because it's good after a while to plant perennials in the ground so that they can develop to their mature size. And also I need to free up the pots for, well, first a winter display and then planting some spring bulbs for spring. So I'm always swapping interest. So I've just moved from our containers all our Stipa tenuissima, all the grasses that I want to use in this area. Now I'm going to lay them out to make sure we have a nice and even distribution around the column. Of course, the best plants will go at the front so we can enjoy them first, but the rest should grow again very soon. So I'm going to plant that and then we'll add the alliums. They're fun! This is so fun! It's going to be a new hiding spot! Yeah! Now that our grasses are all planted, I want to add our alliums. I really like their bicolor blooms. They are very striking, and most importantly, they are going to bloom a little bit later. So from July all the way through to August. So that's a really good way to prolong the bulb show with blooms into July. These bulbs are very small, so they're also going to be fairly easy to plant because they only will have to go 5 centimeters deep. For the spacing, we're looking at about 5 centimeters. So we'll keep that pretty loose. I have 240 bulbs, so we'll see how many we end up using. One last step for me is going to mulch. I already added a bit of compost and tamped the soil down just to make sure that we would have a good contact between the bulbs and the soil. And now I'm just going to add that bark mulch that I love using. It's coarse bark, but it works really nicely. The bulbs are going to grow through absolutely fine. And it's going to give a nice finished look and prevent any weeds. Ta-da! It's looking all neat, and I just have to wait for everything to grow. Hey Cinda, how are you doing? Yes. There's not much more to hide in there. I'm just going around the flower bed now and cutting back the dahlia foliage where I know I want to have more blooms. It's a little bit early to do so. I normally wait until the first frosts, but I have a lot of plants that started blooming early, and so that means they also stop blooming early. So if I notice that we don't have buds, I know that within 2 weeks we're not going to get flowers, and so I'm getting a head start on the cleaning up just by cutting up the plant to base level. Full disclosure, this is what happened to the kohlrabi. I completely forgot slug protection, and everything we planted for winter bedding got snacked on, including the cabbage. Look at that over there. Everything. Everything is patchy, so we'll see what we can do about that. Okay, that's looking miles better. We still have a couple of dahlias that are up. Of course, I'm going to leave the seed heads. That's going to give us some lovely structure. We still have a bit of color from them. And a lot of those plants are going to stay evergreen, like the lamb's ear, for example. Some of the grasses also, the yarrow as well. Of course, the grasses are looking good. It's not time yet to cut back the roses, so this is a pretty good first cleanup so far. I have a couple of kill starts that I picked up, and I was thinking again we could continue with our winter bedding idea. Next, I want to add these two lupins. They were pink and I had them in containers, and now I'm thinking let's add them to the flower bed. Whatever we had here looks like it's not going to come back, so that's an opportunity to take up the space with something else that needs to be replanted in the landscape. All settled. Gonna need to top up with mulch after. I also had this gem that I had lifted from a container. I'm thinking we can try to rehome it. So we have a bit of a gap now that we have something that died. I do have still some seedlings that are growing here in the little greenhouse. Whilst they're still pretty small, I don't think I'll have time to repot them. So I was thinking we could plant directly the calendulas that I have here in the flower bed and see how they do. I have two varieties here, Orange Flash and Arts and Shade Mix. So both will be in shades of oranges. So let's see where we can find some room. I actually wanted to keep the extra space in the flower bed for some scabious seedlings. So I decided to repot them all in 2 containers. We'll grow on the seedlings and then place them in the landscape possibly come spring or when they're a bit bulkier, and we'll see what to do in a little while. I just placed those 2 little containers near their house so that they will be a bit protected. Removing leaves, acorns, and all kinds of debris is really something that I have to keep on doing. It's part of my recurring list. Also, removing any leaves from the lawn. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed planting with me. There's still a few things that I have to do. Of course, finish planting the spring balls, mostly tulips at this point, but also want to create a mini shelf display for our terrace, so stay tuned for that. We're also going to revamp this whole section in front of me, the containers for Christmas, and I'm also going to share with you Christmas DIY gift ideas. That was a great idea from one of you, so thank you for that. I'm working on it and you should see it on the channel very soon. Stay tuned for the rest of the episodes. I'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching. Bye! Oh, this is Sushi's favorite spot. Hi! You like this spot? No? It's a good spot. It's a very good spot.